Good evening, everyone. Once upon a time, a hockey game in Chicago was one of the greatest experiences in sports, and that feeling is back tonight as the Red Wings come back to town. Tonight's starting goaltenders are brought to you by Tim Hortons' new home-style BLT. Dominik Hasek missed 5 games with a groin strain, has come back and hasn't lost since. Meantime, Craig Anderson, the 22-year-old Chicago native, gets the start for the Blackhawks. Yzerman, Shanahan, and a turnover as Mark Bell comes up with a quick shot. Hasek the save.
Shanahan has to lock this lane. Here he is. He's locking his lane. Everything's good. So watch the Hawks now. They attack. Shanahan gets caught. His feet aren't moving quick enough. He has to get his stick up in the air. That's why the left wing lock is effective when that left winger is moving his feet. When he's not, you can break it down.
Radulov digging for it. Leaves it there for Kyle Calder. Radulov trying to set it up. Igor Radulov. Down for Calder. Side of the goal. Chelios got a stick on him. Radulov with it. Chicago 0 for its last 9 on the power play, last 2 games. Shot from well out, scores! Point shot from Berard. Radulov may have got a piece. It's 1-0 Chicago. Back to the line, Chelios one-time shot, bounces in front, Whitney looking for it. Datsuk with it. Takes a high stick from Berard, and a penalty coming up. Datsuk across the line. 1-on-4 is Pavel Datsuk, and John Klemm comes up with the puck. Hull chips it back for Lidstrom. For Jason Woolley. Woolley backhands it behind the goal for Datsuk. Back there for Hull. Red Hull with time being watched by Igor Korolev, number 22. Down low for Whitney, popped away from him. In front to go, Datsuk, back for Hull, scores! Brett Hull with a patented one-time shot ties the game at 1.
Nobody finds dead spots in coverage better than Brett Hull, and he does it right here. When you're playing with a slick guy like Pavel Datsuk and another creative player like Ray Whitney, all you got to do is get to dead zones. Here Whitney does a good job. Watch Datsuk. He knows Hull's going to be there. Hull gets in. Doesn't matter who you are. You're not going to stop that one.
Hasek out to play it for Jason Woolley. Approaching the midway point of this opening period. Turnover, Radulov, loose puck in front, and Hasek sprawls on the puck. Being watched by Maltby. Sending it down low. Back it goes from McLean. Shovels it in front. Maltby gets a piece of that. Detroit 3-on-2 at the end of a penalty kill. Here comes Draper bearing in. In front, Dandenault. Backhand shot. Stopped by Anderson, and a penalty coming up for Chicago. Puck centered again. It just drifts wide of the goal. Brett Hull with it. Extra attackers on the ice. It's Ray Whitney.
You love him if he's on your team. You hate if he's on the opposition. He's an amazing forechecker. He's strong on the puck. He wins races. He loves to punish his assignment. His assignment tonight is Brett McLean. He also knows how to kill penalties. He discourages people from getting to the net. He just knows how to grate on you. That's what makes Chris Draper such an important part of any team. He truly is a monster. Klemm Ruutu, feel the wrath of the monster. Chris Draper putting him down. No question about it, Gord Miller. In 5.5 minutes in the first period, Chris Draper, a potential Selke Award winner, was a monster in the first period.
Well, here's a thought for you. The World Cup next year. How about Draper and Maltby together killing penalties for Canada? Hull back to Jason Woolley for Hull, the Detroit goal scorer. Hull sends it down. Datsuk back in front for Hull, takes a shot, and Craig Anderson hangs on as Brett Hull looks skyward. And Draper just sidestepped a check there from Klemm Ruutu and chips it out.
It's a bad matchup. Brian Sutter's going to make an adjustment. You know, you're on the road here. If you're Detroit, you're getting Draper out against McLean all the time. Sutter's got to read that and make the adjustment. Here we go. We got a little action.
Darryl
got a little action. Bootland's giving it to Scotty Nichol.
What's Nichol thinking?
Well, I don't know. He's trying to stir it up. You know, Scotty Nichol didn't play a very good game against the Calgary Flames the other night. When you and I had a chance to visit with Brian Sutter, he said Nichol's got to be one of those guys that gets us going.
No. You know what? He probably doesn't know Bootland. This is his first National Hockey League season.
Oh, he was a tough junior in St. Mike's.
Man.
Oh, man.
Cross ice feed for Datsuk. Hull working his way to the slot. Here he comes. Datsuk with it. Plays it across for Lidstrom. Backdoor pass off the side of the goal. Puck still loose. Anderson sprawls on it. Anderson couldn't knock that shot down and has to dive back to save that one. A quick shot off the stick of Hull. Puck centered again by Moen. Couldn't get a good shot away. Now Bell moves to the front of the goal. Steve pops to the shot that hit Bell. Korolev looking for it. To Bell. Takes a shot. Hasek to save. Rebound. Juggles it. And they're all over the Detroit goaltender. And that'll draw a crowd with 9:02 to go here in the second period. Detroit and Chicago once again do battle. Ahead for Scott Nichol. Chelios got a hand in his face, brings him off stride. Chicago crowd hollering for a penalty to Chelios. And now a penalty will come up as Bootland got his stick up. A quick shot. Hasek to save. Puck still loose. Hasek grabs it with his blocker. And Berard lost the puck there to Chris Draper. Kyle Calder, Tyler Arneson up front in his power play, along with Radulov. Ryan Berard back at the point. Another turnover to Chris Draper. Shorthanded specialist. They score! In front for Kirk, Maltby, and the Detroit Red Wings have just scored their league-leading 7th shorthanded goal.
Okay, the tape doesn't lie. Draper's that good. And time for people to start respecting. This is all about Draper and Maltby. They're great. Nobody scored more shorthanded goal in this league than the Detroit Red Wings. They now have 7. Watch the puck pursuit. Take the first man. Draper reads off it. Keep the puck. Don't show any lack of composure. Put it across the crease, and then put it to your man.
Chicago is 1 for 4 on the power play, and of course gave up that shorthanded goal. Here's a chance in front of a bad bounce, and it's fired wide by Vorobiev.
Third time that a bad bounce has really hurt the Detroit Red Wings and helped the Chicago Blackhawks.
Here's McLean walking in. Brett McLean can't get a good shot away. Rebound and bang away at it. Ruutu can't fire it home. Hasek gets the pad down. Puck still loose at the side of the goal. Kyle Calder got a piece of that. Here's Arneson in front. Hasek to save. Calder in behind the goal with it. 2 Hawks in front. On the backhand, Arneson back for Berard. That shot kicked out by Hasek. Rebound, fired wide by Arneson. Won the Stanley Cup, we mentioned, in 1961 against the Detroit Red Wings. One of only 3 Stanley Cup titles for Chicago. And here come Maltby and Draper. Maltby across the line. Wires a shot, scores! Kirk Maltby with his 2nd of the game. 3-1 Detroit.
This is all off a set face-off play in their own zone, and it's so graphic, it's unbelievable. They just catch the defenseman for the Chicago Blackhawks snapping, and this is why these guys are so good. It all starts by a 1 face-off by Chris Draper, and watch what Maltby does. He streaks across the ice.
He and Chelios came together. Chelios sent the puck out, and Shanahan sends it ahead. Here's a chance for Detroit. 2-on-1. Yzerman with Lidstrom. Yzerman in front, takes the shot. Lidstrom couldn't get the rebound. Now Yzerman with it. Takes another shot. Anderson the save. Another shot, and Anderson finally drops it down. Arneson down low for Darren Quint. Back for Arneson. Quick shot. Hasek got a blocker on that. And now Yzerman sends it ahead. Here comes Yzerman. 1-on-1 with Steve McCarthy. Yzerman drops it back off neatly for Lidstrom. In front for Shanahan. Oh, what a stop by Anderson. Great chance shorthanded for Detroit.
Look at the explosive nature of their attack. They just keep coming in waves.
Steve Thomas dumped there by Scott Nichol. Allows Travis Moen to move the puck ahead. He's tied up by Matthew Dandenault. Moen still with it. Takes a cross check there. There's a loose glove in front. Belongs to Darryl Bootland. He gathers it back up. The line it goes. Nathan Dempsey with a shot. Hasek to save. Rebound. They score! Travis Moen. And Chicago trails by 1.
Little confusion. The 4th line of the Detroit Red Wings is on the ice against the checkers of the Chicago Blackhawks.
Nathan Dempsey flipping that puck ahead. Chelios looking for the bouncing puck right in front of Dominik Hasek. And Tyler Arneson almost got a stick on that and now whips Chelios down to the ice. He didn't appreciate that. Walking in front, Radulov scores! Igor Radulov ties the game.
Igor Radulov gets his 2nd goal of the game. This is a great forecheck play by the Chicago Blackhawks. Detroit looked like they had it going, and then all of a sudden Chicago gets a goal, and then they get their 2nd goal.
For Chicago, meantime, a home game against the Rangers on Sunday, then a 6-game road trip. And a big hit there by Moen on Jason Woolley. Plays that high off the glass. Chelios keeps it in. Here's Hull. Backhand pass. Datsuk in front. And Whitney almost completed what would have been the passing play of the year. John Klemm with a shot right on. It trickles by Hasek. He reaches back and the puck stays out. Dominik Hasek had it trickled by him. Now Sullivan back in front for Klemm. He whistled that high and wide.
You'll see the puck and watch the right arm go back. Oh boy. And you know what? The defenseman didn't get it. Chelios didn't get it. It was Hasek that got it.
And the Hawks continue to battle away for it. Now it's moved ahead. Here comes Draper with Shanahan. Dropping it off. A penalty coming up. Klemm Ruutu touches it.
Oh, no. Behind the play.
And I believe it's Brett McLean who will go off for Chicago. And Datsuk wins another. Back to Nick Lidstrom. Takes a shot that deflects just wide off the stick of Ray Whitney. Ray Whitney came within a fraction of an inch of scoring the game winner, but this game is going to overtime. Nick Lidstrom, the only true defenseman on the ice for Detroit. And here comes Datsuk. Lots of open ice for Lidstrom. Sends it across. Shanahan, one-time shot. Craig Anderson makes the save. Yzerman brought down by John Klemm. Quickly jumps back to his feet and grabs the puck. Yzerman. Back to Shanahan. Lidstrom, one-time chance. Instead, gives it to Shanahan. Shanahan. Down low for Yzerman. Back to Shanahan. Lidstrom, one-time shot. It trickles just wide of the goal as Scott Nichol got a piece of that.
Oh, look at that. Yzerman's back. Look at that one-on-one battle being strong against Pops.
Here's Shanahan. Down low for Yzerman. Back for Shanahan. Lidstrom. Back to Shanahan. One-time shot blocked by Steve Pops. Down low for Yzerman. Still with it is Steve Yzerman. Datsuk's parked at the back door. Here's Yzerman. Back to Lidstrom. Datsuk calling for the puck and gets it. Datsuk. Back to Lidstrom. Across for Datsuk. Back to Lidstrom. One-time shot scores! Brendan Shanahan wins it for Detroit on the power play.
Yeah, they're not going to blow a 4-on-3 advantage, especially Brendan Shanahan. See how they inverted the sticks? Right-handed shooting, Shanahan playing the left point. Left-hand shooting, Lidstrom playing the right point. That's so they can get one-time chances. And it's just a subtle little play. They know they can break the triangle down of the penalty-killing Chicago Blackhawks. Shanahan just guns one high over Anderson. 4-3, Detroit win. That's perfect power play hockey by the Detroit Red Wings, and a little bit of bad luck to the Chicago Blackhawks. Gord, give them credit, though. They did not quit in this game, and here it is. Good puck movement. Watch how the inverted sticks. That's why they do this. And it's a great job, so you can expose the one-timer. Shanahan jumps in. Now look at all the good job so far. Now he bounces back out again. Over, touch pass, bam! It's perfect textbook hockey. And you see how Yzerman slid into the slot just to provide a little bit more of a screen on Anderson. But it's just good breaking down of the triangle. Good movement. See Shanahan bounce out, bring Pops down. Tries to break down the shooting avenue. Now watch Yzerman pop into the slot. Shanahan shoots it right through.
Shanahan with his 40th career goal against the Chicago Blackhawks. That's more than he has against any other National Hockey League team, and it's the game winner as the Red Wings skate out of Chicago with a 4-3 victory, their third consecutive win this week.